welcome to AutoSave. My name is Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and I'm here with my co-host with the mostest, Mr. Nick Andrade. Hello, Nick.
I don't even know what that means, but thank you.
Hostess with the mostest? What would you think that means?
Like, I don't know. Like, are you thinking I have like the mostest, hottest takes, or like?
I think you're a good host.
Oh,
with
thank
the
you.
Mostest. It's self-explanatory, okay, Nick? Today, we are continuing our dive into Gotham Knights on last week's episode.
The Talons, the Labyrinth, all punishment for exposing the court.
To think Jacob Kane ever thought we could be on the same side.
The Labyrinth wasn't just meant to kill us. The court wanted to get in our heads.
It might have worked.
We'll be okay, Tim.
Will we? Batman didn't kill people, but where would he stand on soldiers lining up to be reborn as these monsters?
I used to be dead. You think I'm a monster?
We have one setback. And this is where you go, Tim? Murder?
I get steering him away from killing people, but the Labyrinth was more than a setback, Babs.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here. You're not Bruce, none of you are.
Enough!
You're not Batman. So as you can tell, tensions is high with the Bat family. But you know what, Nick? Rightfully so. There's been a lot that they've been going through. You know, after meeting up with Talia, we found out that the Court of Owls infiltrated Gotham's most trusted, the GCPD, and we had to take out some corrupt detectives. We revisited the Penguin only to be betrayed by him. Not surprised. And then we went behind the walls of Gotham's to be trapped in a labyrinth, all dazed out, and have to fight our way out, barely surviving. I'm very dramatic with this.
It was very nice. But did you say that the Court of Owls infiltrated Gotham's most trusted? Since the beginning of the dawn of Batman, the GCPD have been corrupt.
Well, you would think if I was just a regular citizen in Gotham, you would think, yeah, cops should be trusted.
Well,
and then you'd live a day there and you'd be like, oh no, that cop is definitely working with the court, you know? And you'd be like, maybe I'll just get that's what they should sell in Gotham. Little keychains with personalized bat symbols. So then for citizens, they could call on the most trusted, the Bat family.
so what, do they press it? What happens?
Yeah, just, you know, like those like those little laser pointers in the early 2000s that would have like a design. So then when you shine it on like the wall, or I guess it was a flashlight, it'd make that design. Just get a bunch of those.
I think that would definitely cause problems. I don't think the Bat family could get to all those laser pointers. Because, you know, they would abuse that power, right? They'd be like, hey, Batman, like my cat's stuck in a tree. Can you go get it?
Well, if the Bat family can't get my cat,
yeah,
who would? I'm not going to call the GCPD. They're probably just going to like cut the tree down and just let my cat fall to its death or something. Don't trust them.
Hence why they're not the most trusted.
Not anymore. Not anymore. This game is clearly outing them. But in this episode, we are going to try to catch the voice of the court himself, Mr. Jacob Kane. But Nick, I have a question for you.
Of course.
There's always, of course. We kind of talked a little bit about what we would do if we were Gotham citizens looking for help. But what if we were a superhero trying to conceal our identity?
Yeah.
Without anyone having to know? What would be your go-to tactic? So, you know, Superman has his hair gelled one way and he wears glasses.
Yeah.
What would be your concealing tactic?
I don't know, because I already have glasses, so that's one of them.
So wait, as a superhero, you would wear your glasses?
No, so I always thought this too was Superman. So I have a rare gift, you would say. Like people's faces, like I recognize them instantly. Okay?
Okay.
And if I saw Superman as much as I did,
yeah,
I would be able to tell, even with his gelled hair and his glasses, that Clark Kent was Superman.
So if you worked at the Daily Planet, giving coffee to all the other reporters and getting donuts for them because apparently they're cops and they just have coffee and donuts.
Yes.
You would know Clark Kent is Superman.
I have recognized people by the back of their heads.
Oh, wow.
Just their hair alone. I've recognized people that I haven't seen since elementary school, even though they're all grown up. And I wouldn't know what their face kind of looks like now, but I would assume. So I've actually like noticed, and then I'm like, hey, are you so-and-so? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so faces and names I'm really good at for the most part.
So that wouldn't work for you.
No. And I could probably tell if Bruce Wayne was Batman just by his
jaw?
Jawline. Yeah.
Well, he does have a very distinct jaw. It's
Right.
very square.
Maybe that's a little far of a stretch, but Superman for sure. So anyway, if you got to conceal your identity, the best way to do it is to be like, let's say, a Spider-Man who has a full mask of their entire face. So you have no idea who they are whatsoever. And you definitely don't want to be like a Tony Stark type where you just basically tell everybody that you are that superhero.
Wait, what's wrong with that? That's my thing. I wouldn't conceal my identity. I'd just be like,
No.
hey, what up?
Have you watched The Boys, the show The Boys?
Yes, I have watched The Boys.
So I think that's the problem of that. If that would happen, right? Like Peter Parker, I think he's a humble person and he's a good person. But if he was outed, let's say, as I guess Tom Holland was in the last movie, but if he was, like, I feel like it would drastically change who he is and his life, which is also a problem.
Yeah.
You would just become like asshole superheroes, in my opinion, because you'd have like fame, fortune,
That's true.
yes, people
It'd go to your
behind
head.
you. And then you just become toxic. So I feel like a secret identity is definitely important
Okay.
in this scenario.
Well, you know what? Then I guess I'll kind of flip it. Yes, I agree. Wear the mask. But I kind of like the facial expressions of superheroes when they're fighting. So I would do a Mission Impossible thing where I'd get a mask that looks like a random person that I created and wear that when I am in my superhero form. So everyone thinks
Yes.
that I look like that when I'm saving the world. But then in my day-to-day, when I'm here hosting a podcast with Nick Andrade, he looked to me and wouldn't be able to use his gift of recognizing people because it'd be my regular face.
So this is basically like you're just like outlining the plot of Mrs. Doubtfire at this point. So you're basically the superhero Mrs. Doubtfire, where you basically have like a prosthetic team creating a mask of a person that makes you look like a person, but you're not that person.
Absolutely. Like if I was Batman, Alfred would be handing me a tray that has all these prosthetics rather than my bat cape on it.
Okay.
That's how I'd go about it.
Kind of creepy. I don't know if the technology is still good enough, but like I feel like the face mask thing would still look kind of creepy. Like you'd look like, what is it? Old grandpa Johnny Knoxville type, you know what I mean? Like it looks good, but it also looks kind of weird as well.
Which would throw people off, also frightening the enemies I'm facing. You gotta love it.
True.
But you know what? The Bat family doesn't do that because they're just going on with the classic mask, and that's okay because we're gonna hop back in with the Bat family in this episode of AutoSave where we go behind Gotham's walls. Let's see if we can bag the Big Bird.
Please tell me this is good news.
I've got enough evidence to lock Kane up for years. It's the warrant that's the problem.
What's the holdup?
I've been to see every judge I know, and no one will sign it. They're scared.
People don't have to know about the court to know not to cross Jacob Kane. Have you tried Judge Moreno? She's never hesitated to go after Gotham's rich and powerful.
Elena was one of the first names on my list. But I guess things got bad over that whole Chelsea Tunnel case. She's gone into hiding.
And she must have a reason. I'll ask around, see what I can find out. If we can help her, maybe she'll return the favor.
Get that warrant signed, and you know I'll serve it.
Now that the team is all rallied and motivated, it is time to go through the law and get rid of Jacob Kane. We need to get a warrant for Jacob Kane's arrest, and we need to get that signed by Elena Moreno. Now, it kind of makes sense that Montoya would just have this evidence on Kane just sitting around while his wife is the commissioner of police. Where is she hiding? Where is she hiding this evidence? I would be terrified to have this.
Yeah, especially like I didn't expect Jacob Kane's wife to be the commissioner of the police.
Yeah.
So that just adds a whole nother layer to everything where I think at this point at least, Jacob Kane is basically like, you can't touch him whatsoever. And I think that's why he feels that way when you talk to him, because I think he's got all bases covered. He is Gotham.
Ooh, I like that. He is Gotham. Yeah, I had no idea that his wife was the commissioner. So it just like added, like you said, that level of like, oh, he's really in controlling Gotham from behind the scenes. But yeah, I guess this is why Detective Montoya is Detective Montoya with moral values, because she doesn't care about potentially losing her job or her life. She has this evidence. So let's go find Judge Moreno to get this warrant signed. So to do this, we actually have to head to Gotham's West End to see the mob, to see if they have any leads. Since Judge Moreno went into hiding after her brother was murdered, we believe that the mob has these leads on her. So when you go to the west side of Gotham, we'll see white triangles indicating like there's crime activities that is actually caused by the mob. So then once you get there, you kind of use your AR scanners and you'll indicate like who you have to talk to, who's the informant with the red triangles, and kind of beat them up to get information. And you have to repeat this process a number of times. So, Nick, how did you find this?
This was fun. I enjoy one. We haven't really seen too much of the mob in this game. We've seen freaks. We've seen other gangs, I suppose, but not necessarily the mob as much. So it's fun to go after them. But also I like this kind of aspect where you have to find the triangles. Mm-hmm. There's usually like around like 3 mob members or 3 or 4 that you have to defeat. Yeah. And then the last one, once you get it to the yellow bar of health, then you can interrogate them. And that's always my favorite, where, Nightwing in my situation was like, what do you know? And then they're like, oh, okay, I'll tell you. And then he's like, all right.
They don't put up a fight. Once the informants are like knocked down, they're just kind of like, all right, I'll give you everything you know. You want into my house too? I'll give you the lease. Like, they are so willing. Is it just fear for what they witness as beating down on their friends?
Like in the Arkham games, I think you can do a better job at that interrogation. It's kind of like creepier, but I always expect it in like Gotham type games or like movies or stuff. When you're interrogating someone, they're first like, well, I'm not going to talk at all. And then they're like, they like dangle you over a giant building. And they're like, all right, I'll tell you. Like, that's what I want out of that. But these guys, they're just like, nah, I don't want to mess with these Gotham Knights.
They're like, you know what? Court of Owls isn't worth it. I'll just give everything up. But yeah, I feel like actually in the Arkham games, Batman, when he does interrogate, it's more of that back and forth. Like, I'm not going to tell you, then escalating the danger, then, all right, I'll tell you everything, which is really nice. But here, you don't really have that, but you do have to interrogate 3 informants, and you do this with the mob, the regulators, and the freaks. I did not realize at the beginning you could knock your informant unconscious.
Like, at what point?
If you beat them down. Like, if you beat them to the point where you don't actually act on the prompt.
Oh, yeah, then you have to like find them again, right?
You have to find another informant. So I did that a couple times. I was just all into the fighting, completely forgot about that. We're detectives first. We need information. So please don't do that.
I did that a few times too.
Yeah. Don't do that. But once you get all the information you need from the informants, well, we continue the mission.
I know you have something to do with the disappearance of Judge Moreno. Start talking.
Oh, yeah! I heard that all we gotta do is keep her safe from those guys in the bird masks. Easy!
Much obliged. Belfry, we have confirmation. Moreno is paying the freaks for protection. Headed there now.
Got it.
She is paying the who for protection. This is a judge that has morals, and she's hiring criminals for her protection.
Yeah.
This is where those bat keychains would have come in handy. If she had a bat keychain, then she should have just shined it and hired us. We could use the money to upgrade our comms and secure it.
Again, I feel like there'd be way too much crime that we'd solve, that we'd be overwhelmed and, have a breakdown.
We only take paying jobs from now on.
Exactly, right? Yeah. We can't free Gotham intern nights forever. We got to make some dough. Yeah, it makes sense because Judge Moreno, especially if she's I would say a good judge, she's going to have people coming after her. So might as well hire goons to deal with goons. So I kind of like it.
All right. Well, you like it. This is the point where I found out that Gotham is really corrupt because she's supposed to be like this guiding light of justice, but she is not.
What?
We're going
No, but where are you getting this idea that there is like, Gotham is Gotham?
Look, I know there's a level of corruption in Gotham, but there still should always be the hope. Literally everyone we've encountered in this game is corrupt in some way or form. And it's like, it's actually really good story writing because that's how Gotham would be, I guess. Like a corrupt city brings on corrupt people, even those that you don't think is corrupt. But I'm just sad. I was looking for that hope, the good person in Gotham that will not bend against the morals.
Gotham is basically if the United States never went after the mob in the 1980s as hard as they did, this is what today would be like. That's what I imagine Gotham is.
All right. Okay. You got to love it. Well, because she hired the freaks, it is time to actually crash their party. When we get there, we have to protect this door that Moreno's hiding behind that the owls happen to be trying to infiltrate because they completely murked all of the freaks and just try to go at Moreno. So you have like this little 3-wave battle. Protect the door. We've been here. We've done that before. You fight some brawlers, feral talons, gladiator talons, who, by the way, are honestly the worst. But it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's
this little.
It's almost like we've dealt with these challenges before where we have to protect a door or stop them from putting money into a van or something like this. It's almost like the same kind of thing.
Exactly. And once you do so, Moreno is happy that we rescued her because she didn't believe she's throwing her money away. She hired the freaks.
Yeah.
Without believing that they had the capability to protect her because she called her friend anyways. So she just threw her money away. I mean, just saying, another reason to hire the Bat family, will always come through. Just saying. Also, this game does this a lot. Who's her friend? Like, we saved her. She signed the warrant, which is great for us. But her safety, like even after this little cutscene, I believe it's Dick that says, make sure she's safe. But she's like, oh, don't worry, I have a friend coming. Who is this friend? How are they not getting ambushed? How do we know the Court of Owls isn't coming back? We're just like, peace. That kind of smelled like trouble to me.
I thought about that too, actually. I think I laughed in that situation. It's like, oh, I have a friend coming. And they're like, all right, cool. And then we go away and we just zip line away. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, good luck, Moreno. Maybe someone will be after you again, but I hope your friend is a strong friend.
Yeah, it's a strong friend. Or she did that thing where it's like, if someone offers you a ride, but you really don't want to take them up, you don't want to be stuck in the car with them for too long. You say, yeah, I have a friend coming, but you really just call an Uber. She might have done that too.
I don't think that's a smart move. Gotham Knights are the best kind of protection that you can get. Come on.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hop into an Uber in Gotham. You never know who you get. Like, what if you have Scarecrow as your driver? Times are tough.
You're going to hear the doors lock, and then you're going to be like, you're supposed to drop me off over there. And they're like, we're taking you somewhere else. Here we go again.
Yeah, it's like, here we go again. But you know what? It's okay. Good luck to her. We got our signed warrant. That was the mission. So we head back to Belfry.
Wait. Barbara? What are you doing here?
Renee, glad you could make it. Welcome to the Belfry.
You're back, girl. Did your father know?
If he did, he never said.
But now you know. If you're gonna help us take down Jacob Kane, we need to trust each other.
Dick Grayson. Well, I guess you're Nightwing then.
Is it that obvious?
It's pretty obvious. You don't even, like,
Do a voice or anything.
Robin. I don't think we've met out of costume.
actually, we've met. Like, 5 times.
Oh, yeah. Tim Drake, right?
We done laying our cards on the table? We got a plan to go over.
Jason Todd. The dead walk among us.
I get that a lot. You get what we needed?
The judge actually signed off on the Jacob Kane charge. Conspiracy to murder Langstrom. Some solid detective work.
Is it just me or is Montoya very oddly cool and calm about learning the identities of the Bat family?
That's exactly what I was going to say. She seems like, I got to play it cool here. I want these people to be my friends, so I'm going to pretend
cool, Montoya, play
like
cool.
this stuff doesn't matter. Because I remember her saying, what was it to Jason, be like, wow, the dead walks among us. Okay, well, okay, I guess he is apparently dead, but not really. But she takes it like, cool beans, don't matter.
Yeah, I would be freaking out. Like when she's like, Barbara, what are you doing here? I'd be like, oh my gosh, Barbara, you are a Batgirl.
Yeah.
And then like putting 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together, that means Batman is Bruce Wayne? Like there was none of that. But I guess maybe this is why I am not a detective and she is. You have to be able to keep your cool. She probably also sees a lot of weird things that would shock you or supposed to shock you in Gotham, so nothing surprises her now. She's just kind of cool and calm on her own.
If you're a detective, I guess you got to act like that. So she was not going to show any of her cards, even if she was excited.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how do you feel about her finding out the identity of the Bat family? Do you think this was needed? Do you think this reveal was well timed? Because I honestly did not expect them to reveal their identity to her. So this was a little bit of a surprise to me.
It's always probably not a good idea to share your identity with somebody that you can't, like, not, yes, you can trust Montoya, and I guess they have to have some sort of trust within the GCPD. That's kind of what they've been talking about in growing their kind of brand, I guess, as you will, as Gotham Knights. So I guess that, but there's always trouble when you invite someone over and they find out your identity and then, you know, they get abducted by a criminal and then they accidentally let leak that they know your identity and it causes a whole problem. Like that's usually how it goes. So we'll see, but she's a cop, so it's probably a good thing that she knows, especially that she's a good cop trying to help Gotham. They need that support.
Gotham's most trusted, obviously. But yeah, I guess they needed to build that relationship because now Commissioner Gordon was not in the picture. So they do need that in to the GCPD. You know, her looking around and saying, do you have a warrant for that? What's going to happen after we take care of this threat? Is she going to come back with this warrants? I'm not going to say I don't trust her, but
no.
I don't trust her.
No, we're definitely not going to get a reveal that Montoya is bad, I don't think.
That'd be hilarious. Now, for this part, you're kind of in Belfry before the huge assault, especially because how they're setting this up. I saved my game like as soon as we ended this cutscene because I'm like, this is bad news. We're going into some heavy battle right now. So you do have an opportunity to kind of do some more skill upgrades as well as upgrade your bat cycle. And then you could assault Kane Industries. It'll prompt you if you want to do that.
You can upgrade your bat cycle?
Well, customize it, not upgrade, customize.
How do you customize it? I didn't even know we could.
Yeah, you could go over to the bat cycle and customize it.
Like when we launch the bat cycle, or is it in the Belfry?
In Belfry.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. See, there you go. I learned something new today.
And there you learned. Okay. But Nick's going to go back and do that now before the game ends because we are coming close to that. But yeah, we are going to assault Kane Industries. And to do this, we're using drones because apparently even though we don't have warrants for our weapons, Kane Industries has full-on machine guns on top of the building shooting down anything that comes close to it. So the idea is to kind of use these drones, and you'll see them getting shot down in the cutscene, but it's okay because that's a distraction jutsu for us. We kind of sneak closer to the tower to start scaling up to make it to the roof. How'd you find this whole scaling the tower and taking down some armored guards around the way?
I grappled all the way up as quick as possible, took them down pretty easily. Nothing too hard. Got into the building with relative ease.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty smooth sailing. R.I.P. the drones, though. They did not survive.
R.I.P.
So once you make it into the building, you'll see a console that you can interact with, but then you won't be able to access it to open the doors. So you actually have to find Kane's laser drill, because I guess like a villain needs a huge weapon that's just lying around there. And you could actually use your AR scan to find it and then pick it up. Once you pick it up, it's going to actually trigger a bunch of enemies to enter the room. So you're going to have to take them out. And when you do so, one of them will drop a security card that you'll need to reprogram in order to gain access to the different doors in the building. So you need to head to the security station to do so. And then once you do that, you head to the executive floors. Now, heading up to the executive floors, floor 75, you're going to hear the alarm be triggered, and then guards will ambush you. There are a lot of guards, but luckily for us, they're not too difficult, so you're not going to have any issues with this. What will happen, though, is the alarm, because it's triggered, you have to shut it off. And once you shut it off, you would have 14 seconds to actually find Kane's office. So it's kind of like this little quick playthrough where you have to sprint to where Kane's office is before the 14 seconds is up. So run for dear life. It's also very easy, so you shouldn't have a problem here. Now you're in Kane's private office. And Nick, do you know what?
What?
A private office is not complete if you don't have a private secret passage.
Oh, of course.
I feel like all villains in their office or their lair have a secret passage. If you were a villain, would you have one?
Not even if I was a villain. I would, if I was a very rich person, I would build a Gothic looking castle. First of all, it'd be completely renovated, nice inside. Like, it would be modern inside, but on the outside, it would look like a giant Gothic castle, which would be really cool. But then also, I would have those secret areas where if you pressed, a key down on a piano, a bookshelf would change. If you pushed out a book, I would definitely have all of those things. So even if I wasn't a villain, I would have them.
I'm saving up money right now just to do that. I want a secret passage where it just takes me. I actually seen them where the people have secret passages in their houses that take them to their gaming room. I think that'd be so cool.
That's sick.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saving up for. It's on my wish list. The holidays are around the corner. Please. I'll put that in my Amazon shopping cart.
That's a big lift. That's a big present. Yeah. It's very expensive.
Now, obviously, because Jacob Kane has a secret passage, we have to find this passage or elevator, and there's a puzzle on the wall that you have to interact with. Once you organize it, it will reveal the elevator. It's like Sudoku. So the puzzle where there's only one icon or one of each icon on each row. It's not too complicated. I didn't have a hard time with this one.
No, it pretty straightforward. I just noticed like each symbol, they could only be on one row, right? On each side. And then you basically just find the missing piece. It honestly took me such a short amount of time. And I was surprised because, normally puzzles, Nick, does go well. But this one I was like, okay, got it. Sudoku, perfect.
Sudoku stands all the way. I love a good Sudoku puzzle. Once you complete that, you'll also see and go through the passage. You'll see it'll be labeled as mysterious picture on the wall. It's this huge picture. And when you pass it, it says mysterious picture. And then there's a globe next to it. So you have to actually interact with the globe to pull the picture away. And then that'll reveal that the elevator is armored. But luckily we have that laser drill. So you use that once you trigger the laser drill to start cutting away at the elevator. A lot of guards are going to come your way. So you have to take them down. Once you do that, you'll head down to the bunker because another villain trope. Villains need bunkers or a secret lab or something. So that's Kane's thing. He has a secret bunker that his elevator takes him to. And there are a lot of enemies and toxic turrets. For me, as Batgirl, I took down the turrets first because I could just hack them.
Oh.
Nick, you are not Batgirl. How'd you go about handling this onslaught of enemies?
It didn't seem that hard. I remember just the turrets. I kind of just used my ranged attacks to destroy them pretty easily.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Again, these guards are not like Court of Owl guards. Like I'll take them on any day of the week compared to the League of Shadows because the League of Shadows enemies are way harder. So this one, again, it didn't take too much time because the Court of Owls guards are not too difficult.
All right. Well, you'll see a reactor room, which in proper Court of Owls tradition, it is filled with a bunch of fire traps. I ran right through that and killed myself like twice. I had zero patience because we had waves and waves of enemies at this point, and I was just like, I just want to get through this and capture Jacob Kane. But it's fairly simple. You duck, you jump, you kind of time it correctly, and then you'll be able to find your way through. And you'll briefly see Jacob Kane go through a blast door. He's like, oh, I'm trying to explain to them this is how it has to be. And then he just runs away behind blast doors. So that kind of opens up where you have to go. I guess we don't have the laser drill at this point because we used it at the pass door. So in this room, you'll see a bunch of vehicles as well, and they're linked to computers. You have to operate these computers to try to rearrange the vehicles. So the vehicle with the gun or the, I don't know what that is on top of it, like a rocket launcher.
It's a tank.
I have no
it's
idea.
A tank, right? It's a tank.
Is it a tank? Yeah, I guess it is.
I think so. Yeah.
It's like a, yeah, I guess it's a tank. Yeah. So we have to arrange that vehicle to face the door so we can use the weapon of the vehicle to open the bust open the blast door. There's going to be lots of enemies here, but again, not too difficult. I think the only difficult thing is trying to arrange the vehicles while you have enemies pestering you.
This was just fun in general. I just enjoyed doing this one. Just going around and then having to rearrange the tank while fighting enemies. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And once you do that, you'll finally take down the door. You'll have to chase Jacob Kane because he's running like a baby, which is hilarious for a guy that had so much talk. And he throws like these laser traps and stuff at you, which I found actually difficult. Did you die a few times by or like get injured? Not die, but like get injured by these like laser traps and mines?
No, I don't think so. I had enough health packs that I think I just spammed it.
Well, good for you, Nick, because I didn't go into this prepared.
Sorry.
But once you do that, you'll finally catch up to him.
You're doing what Bruce did. Fumbling in the dark, thinking you know what's best for Gotham, but you're fighting the wrong battle. The League of Shadows are fanatics who'll slaughter half the city to purify it.
So your solution is to build an army to fight the League?
To save Gotham from itself. Gotham needs hunters, our new knights. They thrive in the shadows like Bruce did, like you did. But unlike you, they know their place.
All right, so it's Hunter Talon time. I actually love these like Talon fights. The Gladiator Talons are like the worst, but the Hunter Talons, these ones are very slick, very quick. They deal damage and they have lots of health. This one was a little bit more challenging for me.
Yeah, I tried to balance my attack where I would like maybe attack a few shots and then kind of balance it out and go to the other one while that one's stunned and try to find a balance and then maybe use a special attack and then go after the other one. Because again, they come at you really fast, so you kind of have to battle them in succession, or else if you try to target one, I feel like the other one's probably going to hit you.
See, I did the opposite. I was like targeting one. I would hit the other that would try to attack me, like just to get them off, but then really focus on one to beat them down because they have so much health. And then when one Talon dies, they actually give a health pack, which I needed, so that it helped me with the last Hunter Talon.
Yeah, it works. It works.
I mean, do what works for you. But then we finally catch up with Jacob Kane.
Gotham won't accept the court as real.
let alone believe I'm the voice.
Doesn't matter, as long as they believe you killed Langstrom.
And what if I did? Huh? Where's the reporter who'll cover it? Or the cop who'll arrest me? Much less the judge who'll convict me.
The judge couldn't make it, but the rest are waiting outside for you.
My wife is still the commissioner. I'll be free before sunup.
Is it true you conspired to murder Kurt Langstrom?
Open your eyes! These corrupt cops are conspiring with vigilantes to put me away! Catherine! Tell them I'm innocent.
Don't give me that shit, Jacob. Don't you say another word.
I can...
Jacob! Jacob!
Well, he is dead. Like, dead. I don't think there's any debate in that one.
No debate. I think he is dead.
He is dead. I have a question for you before we kind of get into that last little bit. But when you arrest Mr. Kane himself, in my scene, you hear him say, like, you weren't able to save Commissioner Gordon. And then that's what triggers Batgirl to, like, punch the daylights out of him. What happens for your scene for Nightwing?
I feel like he mentions Batman. I don't think he mentions his parents because he was just a kid back then.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he mentions Batman.
Oh, that would make sense then.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bad move. I mean, you are the uncle of...
Well, you're the uncle, but you're also the head of a secret organization. So
yeah, that's true. No morals. What I loved about this part, because I actually really enjoyed this cutscene, but what I loved is when he's like, "Oh, Catherine will have your badge," and then 2 seconds later, Catherine shows up and like just scolds him.
I know.
That kind of made me confused though, because I thought Catherine might have been in on it because like he kind of throws that around. So like, why would he feel empowered to be like, oh, she'll have your badge? Like, I guess they're just empty threats, but like.
Or she's just sees that there's a public outrage right now as he's getting arrested and there are civilians around. So she's obviously going to pretend like she doesn't know what's going on, but she probably is part of all of this.
All right. I'll take that. In this mission, before you get to this point, you actually hear little tidbits about Jacob and Catherine's relationship. If you're investigating in his private office, there's like recordings because apparently he records his thoughts of, or it's like, it's his diary, I guess, of how his marriage to Catherine was the best thing that happened to him professionally as well as personally. So I guess he does have some love for Catherine. Oh, yeah. But I mean, for Catherine, it's business is business. So you're going to be held accountable. And Talia believes the way to be held accountable is to be shot in the chest with a Lazarus arrow, I guess. So we have to chase her. And I love this part. I just love like how it feels different than the rest of the game. We have to chase her throughout Gotham. And the only thing about this is like she's really hard to see. So they put like this white marker, which kind of got me out of it. Like it's a ginormous like diamond marker that they use.
Right. But I also know like I felt if I did get lost, the timer wasn't going to run out of me. Like it's saying she's too far now. I felt she was almost waiting for me to get to the next step.
Yeah.
So that she would move forward. So then I didn't feel so bad if I got lost for a sec.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I guess this, if it was where that you would fail the mission if you didn't catch up to her in a lot of time, I guess the stakes would be higher and it would feel more like you're pumping with adrenaline trying to catch up with her. But I'm really curious to hear what she got to say for herself because that was not a part of the plan. We were supposed to go through the law. So we're going to have to hear what she has to say right after this.
Lying, Talia. We had Jacob Kane in custody and you murdered him.
No, we murdered him. The League of Shadows thanks you for your collaboration. Bruce was never this helpful.
You lied to us. You were in charge all this time.
You've been planning to take over the League for years.
Decades. I have a clarity of vision that my father lacked. Without him, the League can reach its full potential.
You couldn't kill him yourself? And save us some trouble?
I didn't need to.
I'd tell you to leave. But somehow I don't think you're going to.
The Orchard Hotel was just the beginning. Our work in Gotham will serve as a beacon, a warning of what is to come. In a torrent of blood, we will purge corruption from this city, then the world.
I can see monologuing runs in the family. Trust me, it's not that intimidating.
Then I won't waste your time. I've only let you live this long because you were useful.
I knew it. I said it from the beginning. I was like, Talia did not leave the League. She's been a part of it the whole time, and she's been trying to take over.
Correct. Seemed predictable-ish, but also in your storyline, I don't remember in mine, but in yours with Batgirl, she like mic dropped there on Talia. She like dissed her pretty damn good. I was like, damn.
The monologuing line, I could see monologuing runs in the family.
Get her, Barbara. Get her. Come on.
Get her, Barbara. I love that. I love this little back and forth. Like, that's the one thing playing as Barbara. You could tell, like, she really is, like, not having any of it. Like, when she's annoyed with characters, which I like with the dialogue. So Talia was wanting to take her father's place for decades. And she wants to lead the shadows to first cleanse Gotham. So she kind of braked our pack, and she's also breaking the pack that Bruce had with Ra's al Ghul, her father. So this is now like changing the dynamics a lot, because I wonder if she had anything to do with her father's death. Like, we still have that mystery of what happened.
I think that's what she's insinuating, though, that she got Batman to kill her father, or try to at least. So this was all a part of her plan, is what I'm guessing.
See, I thought maybe there's something else, and she found it as an opportunity, because you're waiting 10 years to pit them like against each other.
Or more.
10
She
years?
said decades.
Yeah, decades.
Could
That's
be.
true. She said decades.
So, but again, how old are these people?
That's true.
Hundreds of years old, right?
Yeah.
Because of the Lazarus Pit?
Yeah.
So she's just probably been biding her time, waiting. Because I didn't think she probably didn't want to kill her father, but she was like, okay, we need to take the League into the next direction, so I'm going to actually kill you. But I'm going to slowly bide my time.
Yeah, there was probably some bargaining with her father. Like, come on, Dad. Like, we really should go after Gotham. Like, it's kind of a dump. And he's like, no, Bruce is there. Bruce is going to be my successor. Like, we got to do this for Bruce. And she's like, forget Bruce. I'm going to kill you now. Through Bruce. That'll really hurt. Maybe. Boom. She also talks about, like, she says to Barbara, like, Bruce would tell you that nothing could stop this reckoning that's in motion. No, he wouldn't. Bruce wouldn't give up. Okay, Talia?
No.
Bruce
Never.
wouldn't give up.
Exactly. Don't you know Bruce well enough? You spent a lot of time with him romantically as well. So, also, how horrible is Talia that she killed her father and her basically love interest as well?
Anything for the League. Anything for the League. So this is the end of the chapter. We're going to probably get some more answers into how Talia orchestrated the two of them to go head to head as we get closer to the end. But overall thoughts on the chapter?
I would say predictable that Talia was still a part of the League. I think you believed it more than I did. So kudos to you. What actually happened. I think the most surprising aspect was I didn't expect Jacob Kane to die like that.
Yes.
Or at that point. So I was shocked when he did get the arrow through the knee. No, not the knee, the heart. Yeah. But that was the only shocking point for me, because I thought we would get to know a little bit more about Jacob. Unless he's actually not dead. Because who knows with this game right now, when there's Lazarus pits around everywhere and, you know, people are trying to find the Fountain of the Youth. Maybe he's not dead. But I was surprised by it regardless.
Yeah, I was surprised with it. I think he's dead. And if he's not dead, then Catherine is definitely in on this, okay? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think he's dead, though, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. But what I will say is we are getting closer to the end of the game with 2 more chapters to go. And I feel like they're setting this up that the League is going to be our prime target, this late in the game. It has to be. Now, as always, thank you so much for listening to this episode, as well as the team that's behind the scenes that makes this podcast possible. Greg, Dylan, and Chris, thank you. And next time, we will get to duke it out with Talia? Maybe. I don't know. You're going to have to listen next time on AutoSave. Nick's taking a sneeze break. He's dying out there.